Hi everyone, welcome back to the Mammoth Site video series about the Larramendy mammoth skull. This is a skull that we collected from Channel Islands National Park in California, and we are currently working on it in South Dakota to get it cleaned up so we can do some research on it. So today we are joined by Justin Wilkins, Mammoth Site Bonebed Curator. Hello Justin.
Hi Monica.
Good to see you. And we're going to be talking a little bit about screenwashing and collecting sediments from around the skull and looking for other fossils of small animals that you sometimes find in the sediment. So yesterday I was working on the right tusk of the skull, the tusk socket and tusk. I removed a piece of the jacket from right here. And the first thing you do after you remove the jacket is you clean off all of the loose sediment. And the dirts and the gravels that came off of there, just gently loosen it up, collect it with brushes into little scoops, and collect it all in a bucket. And there's a bucket of sediment right over here, so you can get an idea what we're dealing with. It's in a gravel layer, so there's some bigger rocks, some smaller rocks, but sometimes hiding within that dirt you'll find fossils of teeny tiny animals, and that's the stuff that Justin looks for. So I'm going to pass it on over to him, and he'll tell you a little bit about how we do that.
Okay, so as Monica was mentioning, we do have this nice bucket of dirt here. I believe this is from the nasal cavity. Is that correct? Or nasal alveoli area for the tusks. So what we'll do is we'll take this over to our sieves. Now at the Mammoth Site, we do a lot of excavation, so we do mass sieving. We'll use very, very large sieves, produce a lot of small dirt. But today what we're going to do, since this is a smaller specimen, is we're going to walk this way and I'll show you the tools that we use to process this material at a smaller sample size. So what we'll do, we now have our sample over here. This again is from the Larramendy tusk alveoli, just below the nasal, the nose hole. So what we'll do is we'll take that material and we'll put it through these sieves. So what I have here are a number 5 sieve, a number 10 sieve, and a number 35 sieve. Now what these mean as far as their numbers are concerned is just how big the holes in them are. So for a number 5, that's 4 millimeters. It looks like that. Okay, that's fairly small, you think, but we go even smaller here. Okay, so a number 10 is 2 millimeters mesh size. So anything that's smaller than 2 millimeters will fit through there. And then the final size that we collect and really examine for small vertebrate fossils is this. This is the number 35 sieve. This is 1/2 millimeter. So super tiny, not the smallest thing you could go looking through, but for vertebrates this is about where we stop. Okay? After that it gets really, really time consuming. And the reason why it gets time consuming is because all of this material, where you can see all the large rocks with the naked eye, some small pebbles and gravel, and that material, that will get caught in those heavier sieves and then leave this behind. So this is everything from 1/2 millimeter on up to just under 2 millimeters.
So Justin, can you show us a few of the things that you've been finding recently?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, we find all manner of small vertebrates associated with our mammoth over here. We have found mice, and we have found lizards and a new snake. Today, what we've been finding is small amphibian bones. Now these amphibians are very important because they're not too common, because people, again, don't look at this small stuff as much as they do mammoths. But they also tell us a lot about the environment on the Channel Islands during the time that the mammoth was there. Now they're difficult to see. We're looking through 10 to 30 times magnification for these specimens. And when we find them, we set them aside so that we can try to identify them later.
So how is it that you actually identify something when it's that tiny and you can barely even see it? How do you figure out exactly what animal it's from? Okay,
so what we'll do then is we'll consult a number of research publications that have gone to describe not only fossil specimens but modern specimens, and we've made what's called a comparative collection here of modern animal skeletons. So we then take these fossil animals and compare them to the skeletons of the modern ones that we have often a different collection, and we get as close as we can. For instance, I don't think the little salamander vertebra that I found from this sample is actually quite the same as what you'll see here. which is a tail vertebra from a slender salamander. I do think it's a slender salamander, but some of the shapes on it make me think that it's a smaller, possibly juvenile salamander.
Very cool. All right, well, good luck, Justin, with sifting through all the rest of that stuff. I'll continue to make lots of dirt for you to try to find some little fossils.
Well, it'll be exciting.
And thanks for you all for listening, and if you're interested in learning more about the Larramendy Mammoth Project, be sure to check out the rest of the videos on Facebook or on our website.